Google, yes, the biggest search engine in the world and one of the most valuable companies in the world that has become an important part of our lives. Google turned 25 yesterday. So for 25 years, they have been a major part of our lives. I'm thinking, when did I discover Google? When was the first time I ever used a Google search? I can't remember, but I know it was not in 1998 when they were established. So good looking out to Google, and we hope rather, that they are here for 25 more. If you're not up to 25, what that means is Google is older than you. Interesting. All right, this morning, a lot is happening on Hello Port Harcourt. But the first is the important question, where is Jude or Mamegbe? Fortunately, I don't have the answer to that. If you find him, tell him to come back home. We'll be starting this morning talking about tourism in Port Harcourt. I mean, it doesn't get more Port Harcourt than talking about the pull factors. What are the interesting, important, unique things about Port Harcourt that makes you want to come to this city? If you were not living here and you heard about it and you wanted to visit, what is that thing, that special thing that would make you want to experience Port Harcourt? Do we have those pull factors? I'll be speaking with a Port Harcourt resident, someone who's been around for a very long time, about what he thinks is a selling point of Port Harcourt. Coming up in the next hour, it's the power update. You will be telling me about the rate and frequency of your supply. How stable and steady is the supply of energy? Talking about electricity in your area. Do you sleep with light? Do you wake with light? Or do you wish you had more than you're getting? And in the final hour, the 11 o'clock hour, this is salary week for those who have the monthly cycle. It's the last week of September. So some people have been paid, others will be paid. The big question is, where does a bulk of your money go? If you do budgeting, you have a personal budget, you're very intentional about your finances. From your budgeting, where have you noticed a large part of your salary, your paycheck, your income? Where does it go? That's a conversation for the final hour. And I'll say my goodbyes on Hello Port Harcourt. Are you ready? Let's do it.
Stimulating and insightful conversations. Hello Port Harcourt. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back. Globally, tourism has become a sustainable revenue earner, competing favorably with the manufacturing and agricultural sectors, especially in developed countries. Tourism made up 10% of the global GDP in 2019 and was worth almost 9 trillion naira, making the sector nearly 3 times larger than agriculture. So what is tourism? Tourism is basically the reason why anyone will travel to a place where they do not live and they don't intend relocating. That is tourism. So if I go to the UK for treatment, that's medical tourism. If I go to Canada for studies, that's educational tourism. And if I go there to enjoy the sights, explore and experience the city, for whatever reason, there is something strong enough from that city to pull me over to that side. So the big question is, what is the pull factor of Port Harcourt? People who don't live here, what is it about this city that will make them want to come here? Now, let's look at the basics, right? Let's look at all the tourist destinations of the world. If you're talking about France, say the Eiffel Tower, people want to go and see it. Notre Dame Cathedral, the museums here and there. That's why I want to visit Paris. Dubai, you have the Burjes, the Burj Al Arab, the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world, the Dubai malls, Palm Jumeirah. There's a lot. And even if you come to Nigeria, you have Eco Atlantic, you have Lekki Conservation Center. And if you're that kind of person, maybe you have the Third Mainland Bridge. So what is it for Port Harcourt? My guest this morning is the programs manager of Wazobia FM. He is a sportscaster and journalist. He's covered about 1,000 matches. That's a lot. In my opinion, it's even too much. But for the purpose of this conversation, he's an aquarium. Good morning, China. China Cherry is in the building. Good morning, China.
Good morning, Sam.
How you doing?
Very fine.
Okay. Thank you for joining me. China warned me earlier. Said I am prepared for this conversation. I don't know what he has up his sleeve.
I did?
Yes, you did. You did. I wish I had recorded it. It almost sounded like a threat, but I'll just leave it there. So, China, you definitely have friends in other parts of Nigeria. Let's say you have somebody who lives in Kano. If you were to sell the Port Harcourt market to them, invite them over, what would you tell them is happening in this city that would be good enough to make them want to come over?
I'll say, oh boy, just show. No. You see,
Is that enough?
No, it's not enough. It's not enough.
Okay.
Come because we are friends. Let's just hang out. Let's see. Don't say.
Okay.
I would say that you spoke of tourist attractions all over the world, right? And even in Nigeria, you talked about some places in Lagos, nearby Calabar. There is the Obudu Resorts. There are a couple of places like that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what do we have in Port Harcourt?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad to say, basically nothing. No, hold on. No, don't get me wrong. No, I have a list of tourist attractions in River State.
Okay.
But I'm basing it on your question.
Okay.
If somebody has to leave his place and say, I'm coming to River State to see this, what is that thing that can attract person? It's not like you're already in Port Harcourt and say, we'll go somewhere. No.
Okay.
I mean, I can decide to go to Dubai. I say, okay, let's see Dubai more.
Yeah.
I mean, there are places I can go to.
Lots of places.
Yeah. When I was in Egypt, I visited the pyramids in Giza. I mean, that was, I'd heard about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And all of that. But what's there in River State of Port Harcourt that can bring somebody from the UK or from Kano or from Uganda? I say, look, I'm going to Port Harcourt to see this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's leave those outside. We'll get back to them.
Yep.
Let's look at those inside.
Okay, good.
How do Port Harcourt people relax? How do they unwind? Where do they go to chill and have fun?
We do TGIF. We have drinks and take pepper soup, and we gist until it's past midnight, and we go home. Now look, River State has quite a few things that people can visit, right? But I'm not too happy because we have not built on what we have.
Okay.
Right. We need to make these things standard. We need to make people know these things exist, right? Okay. When you talk about Port, where do we relax? Everybody these days go to the pleasure park.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God the former governor thought it wise to build something like that. So on public holidays, weekends, it's packed. I've been there a couple of times. I mean, it's packed. So that's one place that people can go to and say, hey, let's go and let me take my kids there. Let me just go and catch some sun and all of that. So that's the Port Harcourt pleasure park. Right down Aba Road. It's a place people can go to. But there's the Port Harcourt Zoo, right? Yeah. Last time I checked about that zoo, I didn't know how many real animals they had. But I have a friend who took his son to the Port Harcourt Zoo just 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yes. So I heard that just before the last governor left, they refurbished that place.
Oh, nice.
So then there is the Port Harcourt Zoo. I don't know how many people know there's the Port Harcourt Zoo or how many have been there in recent times, but there is the Port Harcourt Zoo. Now, for me, that's about it for Port Harcourt. Because, okay, there is the Isiboro Park, and it's just there because of the name of Isaac Adakaboro and the history behind that man. But outside Port Harcourt, there's the Finima Beach.
Okay.
Finima is around the Bonny area. The Finima Beach. There's the Kuru Atlantic Beach. There's the Finima Nature Park.
Oh.
Yes. And of course, back again in Port Harcourt, there's the River State Museum. So, but the thing is, I'm sure as I mentioned these names, apart from the pleasure park, some people are wondering, how come I've not heard about this before?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. The state has not done enough to make this as popular as the Obudu Resort or some other places you go to in Abeokuta, Olumo Rock, and all those other places, Zuma Rock. We need to make them more popular so they can be eye-catching.
Okay. Now, if we are saying that we're not doing enough and we want to compare locally, right? We want to say, let us look at the Nigerian standard before we go international. It will also be rational to ask, how do people in other states in Nigeria relax? Because if a person comes from Lagos, Abuja, Calabar, some other city, and makes a statement, una city too dry, they usually say that based on the kind of fun they have where they are coming from. You would hear things like, by this time when we did Calabar, Ufodon they do this, or Ufodon they do that. So, Nigeria generally, do we even have a leisure culture?
No, we don't. Generally, we don't.
So it might not be a Port Harcourt problem.
No. It's not. For now, it's not about Port Harcourt people.
Okay.
It's about the government of the state.
Okay.
Making sure that these things are out there on our faces. Is there a handbook for a visitor to Port Harcourt so that the airports that tells you when you land in Port Harcourt, you can go to these places?
That's a good one.
I traveled a lot. And at the airports in these countries, you can get these handbooks that can tell you what to do when you want to do particular things.
Sites, yeah.
So is there a handbook of River State? I've not seen it. Maybe there is, but I've not seen it. So it's not about the people of River State. It's about the government I think they are not doing enough. But Port Harcourt people will relax. They will relax when they want to. I'm only saying that we don't have too many of those, and they are not out there and open for visitors to see.
Interesting. All right, we have a break coming up. After that break, I'll be speaking with you. What is a unique Port Harcourt experience? Something that you have experienced in this city, in this state, that you know you will not find in Kano, you will not find in Lagos, you will not find in Calabar. Is it enough to pull people from outside to come in and experience? Please stay with us. on it. It could be yours. So it's open to secondary school students to age between 12 and 18 interested in participating. You send in, with the help of parents or guardians, a video of the students speaking on why peace is important for the progress and development of a nation. Your name and age should be stated, and the entry should be sent to socialph at nigeriainfo.fm. And maybe, just maybe, you could be the next millionaire. I'd like to see a student, brag to parents. I made my first million before I got to 18, and the dad would say, oh, well, it is what it is. All right, welcome back. We're still talking Port Harcourt tourism, and I have China Cherry here in the studio with me. You're welcome once again, China.
Thank you.
All right. It's time to hear from you. What is a pull factor of Port Harcourt? And let me not limit it to, the capital, to the state as well, River State. Are there things here that are strong enough, heavy enough to invite other people to come and see? Do you have a unique experience? Is there something that you have experienced in Port Harcourt that you will not have or did not have anywhere else? I have a story. I tasted ununu for the first time ever here. Would it be enough to invite a friend over? For me, maybe no, because we can always deliver. We can send it, right? But before I came here, I did not know what it was. I had not tasted it. I had not even heard of it. Maybe because I don't go out much. So that's something that I could say, oh, when I was in PH, ununu was something that worked for me. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, so you can watch as you listen. It is at Nigeria Info PH. And for WhatsApp, you can send messages to 080-903-06-416. Please turn off your radio as you call. I have Chima from Artillery. Good morning, Chima.
Good morning, Chinedu Oracle.
Good morning.
In fact, you have remembered me so many things I have forgotten.
All right, go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, yeah. I came into Port Harcourt 1990.
Wow.
That time, Chinedu, from 1990 till now is 33 years. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay. That time, house rent was 200 naira a room. I paid for 6 months. That's 1,200 naira. Now, those times, we normally go to tourist beach.
Okay.
Like as Independence Day is coming now, you will see people will troop in that place. That place will bubbling. You see white men, you see different types of people there. Sometimes we go to Port Harcourt Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
All those things are no longer there. Sometimes even this Obibo, we'll go to Obibo to play football.
Okay.
That primary school there, we'll go there to play football. When you go there, in fact, when I pass there now, we'll see, I will remember this is School Road Primary School, precisely. If you go to that place that time, but go to the School Road Primary School now. When I go there now, I will say, I will be surprised that this thing is like this.
Okay, Chima.
Now, ask a question.
Yeah.
Is there anything you cannot see any?
Well, maybe you haven't taught
me. I will tell.
Taught the city enough. Chima, I have a question.
Okay.
Where did you reside before you came to Port Harcourt?
I was residing in Benin City.
Benin.
Yes.
Okay. And what was the special thing about Benin before you left that would have also made a person?
That time in Benin City, everywhere was very peaceful.
Okay.
Sometimes we go to this thing. There's one program they normally do every Christmas that time. Sometimes we go there. This thing is not everywhere you will go and see something you can write. Like the question somebody China asked. Nigeria has a very big problem. We don't have anywhere somebody can say, let me go to this place, or you can take a friend to relax. We don't have it. Not only River State.
Okay.
But the ones we have, how far have we maintained them? Are you with
Chima.
me?
Yes, I am with you, and I'll have to let
That
you
is
go.
the problem.
Thank you very much, Chima. Clement.
We don't have that control. Now you ask a question. Just a minute. You ask a question. What you can get here, we don't see any place.
Yeah.
Conclusively.
Indeed.
What I can get here, I can't get another place. During the election, people will use Ken to flog people.
No.
You can't see it another place.
No. First of all, we're trying to promote, the good part of Port Harcourt. But I can assure you, Chima, and while this is not a good position to take, they will flog you in other parts of the country when it comes to election. That's a Nigerian thing. You understand? You will be flogged. Clement from NT Road, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sam.
Good morning.
Man, Mr. China.
Greetings.
Okay, to go through your question, I want to use my field as a digital marketer.
Okay.
And Port Harcourt as a city or river city. Since we're in a globalized world now, there's what we call hashtag, or there's what we call location.
Yeah.
So if you tap on location of River State, you will see pictures of people that reside in River State.
Okay.
My brother, what you will see, I can tell you if we have tourist sites in Harcourt, gladly they tag that place, telling the city. So if I am using this, I want to tell you that the government, if they are listening, this is because they will start, putting their eyes into tech and into what they can use that tech to sell what they have in River State. Let me use Bole, for instance, because that is what we can brag about.
Yeah.
Bole is one of our tourist routes that whoever comes to Port Harcourt wants to have a taste of it. Now, there is a place that is a private manager, should I call it a park, somewhere in the car. Since it's privately managed, we have some waterfalls, this water slide.
Okay.
I don't know if you have seen that. We have something like that over there. My question is, things like that, we could have had like 4 or 5 of things like that.
Okay.
Or let me just say one. By the way, let me just say one.
All right.
Even if it is a government-owned like that, then it will be a very good thing to invite somebody. However, let's look at the natural, what God gave to us. Like, you go to, maybe, if there is Olumo Rock.
Yeah.
And what the government is doing with Olumo Rock is, okay, God gave us this rock. How can we use this to to showcase the world? We have a whole lot of them outside. But in Port Harcourt, I think what we have is our river. What we have by the sea. And these are things that we could have cash on or bank on, but we do not really put focus on that. If you ask me, if the government is listening, see these things that we have. I don't know them, but however, this is stadium. Stadium is one thing that people want to visit, maybe for 1 or 2 recreation. And we have like 4 stadiums or 3 stadiums in Port Harcourt.
All right, Clement.
Stadium.
I must move on now.
And the one in something like that.
Thank you very much.
For me, these are places I think we can use. Sports. Thank you.
All right, Zion calls from GRA, and I'll get back to China. Hello, good morning, Zion.
When you talk Port Harcourt, in short, it's even a new name, the Garden City. You will once talk about an environment that runs a 24-hour economy. From Port Harcourt Township to other metropolitan environments. The Lagos, take a case study. It is not government that promoted those beaches you hear about. We have a lot of beaches in Lagos. Takwa Bay, Onikon, Lekki, Lejo, mention them. It is the community. The community. There in River State, everybody is calling the government, and it's sometimes so annoying. Look at the government schools that the government gave, that they're taking care of the schools. They vandalize them. And they will still call the government to come and sweep the classroom for them. Cut the grass. What is the response? Except the community project this idea like what happened is all the beaches that individuals cited, The Lagos government built a structure, 3-star hotel and lodge, 3-4-star hotel with lounge. They just give them structure, 1 or 2 structures, and the community run those programs. Why can't we do that here in Rivers State? Every day, or Irokoto. But why can't you that is from Irokoto? What have you done to harness the potential of Irokoto? You always talk about the beach somewhere, whatever. Why you that is from there? Why haven't you harnessed it? Look at the Port Harcourt beach we have here. The town, this one in town here. The whole tilapia, the people from there ate the tilapia that they don't put in the pond. The people, they ate the tilapia. If you go there, you see tilapia there, okay, we are talking about this other Kukulu. All these are tourist sites. What the people, community people do is to preserve that environment. The government will now come, individuals will now come and build structures to promote it.
All right.
But we are waiting for the government. One day we'll see that and say, government should come and pregnant my wife. I've married her for 3 years, no picking. Government, come and pregnant her. Why are we like this in this part of the world?
All right, Mrs. Zion, thank you very much. Now, while I get the point you have made, I, to a certain extent, disagree with you. So, first of all, tourism is a sector. There is a ministry that covers that. Even though the tourist sites are located in certain communities, for a lot of cases, the promotion and preservation is usually up to government. Yes, with community engagement, if they are serious about tourism. Right? So, yes, the community, this, that. Besides, every government needs to create an enabling environment for something to thrive. Whether it's business, whether it's tourism, yes, it might be in my land or in my area. But you need to be certain that the government of that area has created a platform where it is safe and sustainable to actually push. But China, I'm sure you have some reactions to the call we're taking so far.
You just answered Zion rightly. There are actually places in Rivers State you can visit, right? Like I said, government needs to build on these places. Now, I mentioned a few now, but there are, somebody talked about what God gave to us.
Yeah.
There are natural sites God has given to us, like Zion mentioned the Irokoto fishing port at Andoni, said to be the biggest fishing port in all of West Africa.
Oh.
I think we need to do more about, and apart from the fishing port at Andoni has wildlife.
Okay.
Elephants roaming the streets and all of that.
Really?
Yes, and at Andoni, yes. So we should build on it before, like you said, for the natives, we kill and eat the elephants. But yes, it's there. Now, in Port Harcourt, there's a man called Rebisi, said to be the founder or the great ancestor of most of Port Harcourt. Where was Rebisi born? Where did he die? Where was he buried? Can that be a tourist attraction?
Yeah.
I hear Rebisi was buried somewhere around where they have the House of Assembly quarters. Have they built on Rebisi's grave? So these are things that we do. Listen. Somebody talked about Benin, right? Everything about Benin and the kingship is shrouded in secrecy. It was the same in the United Kingdom. Until Queen Elizabeth came in, she was one that first opened the Buckingham Palace to the public. It was under Queen Elizabeth that the BBC cameras first went there and had a recording session with her. So she opened it up. Now people go to UK and they visit Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Can we go to Benin and say, I want to visit the Oba's Palace? These are tourist sites that we don't know about. Where I come from, there's what they call Minigugo, water from the rocks.
Okay.
I'm sure you don't know about this.
That's spring. It's
somewhere in Obakri, but probably covered by the bushes at this time. Now, somewhere in Obakri, we have the shrine of Nyuku, where it is said that Ekenta, our great ancestor, he saw, it's a story, but of course, there's a place where he worshipped Nyuku, where the rocks settled. According to the story, he stopped a whirlwind, and where the whirlwind rumbled the rocks, there's a site there. Do we know where it is at Odo Obakri? These are things that have been there from time. And that's what I say. We need to, yes, the community has its own part to play, but government is about tourism. The money that comes in, the hotels that people will stay. See, government needs to do their own PR. I won't do PR for Rivers State government. Of course, I'm doing it now. But, like you said, there's a ministry that will do all of these things. So, yes, we have our food, but we need to do a bit more. There's really nothing of note that can make a man come to Port Harcourt. So I want to see this. But of course, while you're here, there are places you can visit.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, the tourist beach, the pleasure park, the Finima beach and all. But how have we built on it? Yes, there is the Boiler and Fish Center at Eleka here. I have friends that come to Port Harcourt and say, oh boy, we'll go chop Boiler and Fish. And I drive there because that's what they know about. There's Onunu, for those that like Onunu, you mentioned. There's Oru Rekinima.
What's that?
So what's that?
It sounded very long.
Oru Rekinima is plantain porridge. Prepare the Kore style.
That's what Onunu is now.
No, if you're not eating Oru Rekinima, you're not eating Oru Rekinima.
I don't want us to have an argument because I don't.
I know Onunu.
I don't have knowledge.
I know
of
Onunu,
what you just said,
and
right?
I know Oru Rekinima.
Okay, so
they're different things.
They are both derivatives of plantain.
Yes.
Bola is also plantain.
Yes.
Okay.
So of course, there's the fisherman soup,
Yeah.
which we call native soup.
Yes, that
but
is.
you are calling fisherman soup.
Now I can assure you that alone is a tourist attraction. I can.
You know, but again, we need to build, especially those historical sites. I talked about where was Rebisi buried. Do we know? Can we create some? I was in Calabar. My first trip to Calabar in the 90s. They showed me a building. As they said, that's where Mary Slessor lived. People just go and see Mary Slessor's house.
Yeah, even Tafa Baleva's grave is a tourist.
Exactly. So that's why sometimes this thing needs more than just the local community. It needs the government to set these things up.
All right. So if we're talking tourist attraction, and this is where we open it up beyond Port Harcourt to other local government areas, you would have to talk about festivals, carnivals. You talk about culture, but festivals, carnivals, food, and fashion. Let's look at festivals. We used to have Canary. It was really big from what I heard. Of course, I wasn't here at the time, but now there is no Canary. The biggest festival in Port Harcourt now is the Bole Festival, and that's private sector driven.
Yes.
Of course,
like Zion suggested.
Yes, you will give credit to the government for creating an enabling environment. It's now global. It's not even just national, right? So a lot of people in the private sector would need to come in with the encouragement and in some cases the support of government to do a thing or two. I know there are parks here and there, and how I know is a friend was supposed to have a birthday party and they wanted to do it somewhere open, and of course the pleasure park, they said no, please, pleasure park don't do,
in today's language, you don't cast.
You don't cast. There are too many people there. We just need a private. And I was a bit surprised that a few names came up. Oh, there's one here, and there's even one not very far from us. It's a small park, And this you can see what the private sector is trying to achieve. You know that with the right support, this can be bigger. So, how is the government supportive of people in the private sector who might also want to push tourism?
I think they're doing their best. But the question, like we always say, is their best good enough? Some years back, the people of Alu, they had what they called Egelege Alu, which is Alu Wrestling Festival.
Oh.
It used to last 10 weeks every year. So each of the 10 communities in Alu, they wrestle every weekend for 10 weeks.
10 weeks?
Yes. So I used to be part of it.
And Alu UFC. That's
So
quite
at a point, they had people from the Ministry of Tourism come there to see what we are doing and see how government could be part of what they are doing. I don't know if anything came out of that. But it's festivals like that government should be part of. There are wrestling festivals, there are masquerade displays. These are things that people from other climes want to see. So yes, government should, and that's why we have a ministry for that.
Yeah. Do we have at this time any harvest festival? The New Yam Festival in some parts of the country is really huge.
Yep.
To welcome the New Yam. Is there any harvest festival in River State?
What do you mean harvest?
Harvest
New
usually, maybe yam, cassava.
We have our New Yam festivals.
Okay.
Different communities fix dates for their. The people of Apo have been part of the Apo New Yam Festival, part of the Obaku New Yam Festival, even have been part of the Che New Yam Festival. So this happen depending on the community and when they fix for their festivals. So there are a lot of festivals that happen traditionally, but like I keep saying, either from the community, because first, like let me agree a bit with Zion. First, you as the community must beautify your place.
Agreed.
So when you have a New Year festival in, say, Choba, for example, how many people know about it? Is it just you and the few thousands there know about it? So you start to push your community out to the world before you get support from other people.
Yeah.
So because there are lots of festivals in River State, but how much do we know about them?
Promise calls from Mile 1. Good morning, Promise.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Actually, I'm interested about this topic this morning.
All right.
Like, about you're talking about this hello wrestling. Let me greet my brother first. Tell him make sir.
Dearly, when Badun.
Rumola
again.
Make
What you carry Rumola inside here? Yeah.
He says it's from
like
Rumola.
In my maternal home,
Okay.
in my maternal home, we have a one wrestling festival,
Okay.
which is similar to this our own.
Yeah.
They prefer that wrestling festival more than December.
Oh.
They do prepare in 6 months time before that wrestling. That within that July, August. They will see them having cooking, buying the different materials. On that day, you start showcasing yourself. And that's a very big tourism.
Yeah.
Our government also want to look into those things. Even me, that is my maternal home. Before that, I used to prepare to go to that. I go with my kinsmen. I will have studio. I will call my friends to go to that place because I enjoy it so much.
Okay.
Then let me also come into this about this Calabar. I've been to Calabar several times with my Navy friends. There's one Commander Mohammed, and Commander Hanato. I've been where Lord Lucas, where he's living, his kitchen, his bedroom, in that Navy yard in Calabar. So all those things, they are part of tourism which government needs to develop. At least sometimes that we'll go there to see one of all these things. So that's my own comment this morning. Good morning, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Promise. Now, China, you cannot talk about tourism without having a conversation about security.
True.
If a place is not safe, then let's forget about having people come over. One of the many things people say about Lagos, they call it the city that never sleeps. Someone who stays in Lagos say, I can come out at 1 a.m. and I will still buy jollof rice. And it tells you, depending on the area, of course, that, there are lots of things. It has an economy that is bubbling all day long. Is there any part of Port Harcourt, or let's even say River State, where I can come out by 2 a.m. and I'll be able to buy maybe rice or fish or something? Like,
Jerry,
it's bubbling enough.
Jerry, Casablanca. 4 a.m. you get it, and you'll be quite safe. Now, see, this issue of Port Harcourt and insecurity is getting quite old for me. And people talk of Lagos. There are lots of areas in Lagos you can come out and you're pretty safe. You won't be looking behind you. There are also lots of Lagos you can come out at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's neither here nor there. Yeah, but I think what the River State government needs to do at this point is to improve the PR of the state. It's not about PR. Because for the next 10 years, when they mention River State, they mention Port Harcourt, people who have not been here will talk about insecurity. It's something that is stuck to us. So I think the River State government right now, as much as they are working on making the place more secure, they should build on the PR of the state.
Finally, China, if any city or state hosts a sport tournament, the benefits, people continue to talk about it for years. We're still talking about Qatar and what they've done. I know that, I don't know if it covers the entire nation, but I know that for the southern part, the Akwa Ibom Stadium right now is the best in the southern part of Nigeria.
In the country.
Okay, in the country.
In the country.
Okay. So that's something that would get people talking about Akwa Ibom. Sport-wise, do we have it going here? Is there something? Can we host any tournament?
No, we can't. Well, it depends on the tournament. The Adoki Amir Simaka Stadium at Omagwa, apart from the main bowl that's used for football, it's a complete sports center.
Oh.
Tennis, basketball, swimming pool, indoor sports hall. You have everything there. So yes, you can host any tournament in that place. But for the main bowl, for the football pitch, that's not good enough. But you can host a sports festival there. You can host a basketball tournament. We've hosted an African swimming championship there before.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can. It's just that I don't know how much of what maintenance has been done on that place since it was opened. But it's a massive place.
All right, this is where the curtain falls. Thank you very much, China, for your time. We appreciate it.
The pleasure is mine.
Thanks for promoting Port Harcourt.
Call me again.
Yes, indeed I will. After the break, I'll take your messages on different platforms. Please stay with me.